Hey, welcome back. You know, with everything going on in the world, it feels a little chaotic sometimes, right? So it makes you wonder, what kind of wealth, what kind of asset can actually survive, well, anything? A fire, a disaster, you name it. Today, we're going to put that very question to the ultimate test. So, to dig into that question, we're going to follow two characters on this little thought experiment. First, we have Elisa, a student who's super eager to understand what money really is. And then there's her mysterious mentor, Satoshi. Their very first mission, to get a handle on a super important concept, durability. But trust me, this is not going to be some boring classroom lecture. See, Satoshi, he believes the best way to really learn something is to see it in action. So instead of just talking about durability, he decides to show Elisa a pretty dramatic real-world stress test. The whole idea is to push different kinds of wealth to their absolute breaking point. Now, how does he do this? Well, he's got a little help from his incredibly powerful AI assistant, Bitdrea. This thing is amazing. It can run these hyper-realistic simulations. And with just a simple command, Bitdrea fires up a scenario that's going to be our laboratory for this whole experiment. The target is locked in. It's this sprawling mansion belonging to an old, very wealthy family. And this house is perfect. It's filled with all the classic types of wealth we need to test. But it's about to face an absolute catastrophe. A massive fire is about to sweep through and engulf everything. And just like that, the simulation starts. Flames are erupting everywhere. It is total chaos. Inside, the family is scrambling. You see their survival instincts kick in, and every single one of them is desperately trying to save the fortune they've spent their whole lives building. But really, can you save wealth from an inferno? Okay, let's zoom in on two key family members here, because they represent the two most common ways we all think about storing physical wealth. You've got the grandmother, who trusts in nothing but cold, hard cash, and then there's the daughter-in-law, who has put all her faith in the timeless value of gold. This slide really just lays out the brutal, simple truth of what happened. The grandmother's entire stash of cash, it's just gone, turned into a pile of completely worthless ash. And the daughter-in-law's solid gold bars, well, they melted in that crazy heat, fusing with the steel and concrete of the collapsed building. I mean, sure, the gold atoms are still there, but it's totally unrecoverable. So for all practical purposes, both of their fortunes were completely wiped out. But hang on, in the middle of all that panic, the youngest grandson did something kinda strange. He ran out of the house with absolutely nothing in his hands. He just stood there, watching the whole place burn down with this bizarrely calm look on his face. So, what was his secret? The next morning, the scene is just one of total despair. The family is crying over everything they've lost. But the grandson, he just calmly walks right through the wreckage, straight for the charred, melted mess of what used to be a computer. He's not there to salvage a single piece of it, though. He's there for a totally different kind of recovery. And this is where we see the big twist. He completely ignores the burned-out computer. Instead, he just closes his eyes and starts reciting a sequence of 12 simple words from his memory. Witch, palace, energy. What is he even doing? Well, he's accessing something that was never physically inside that house in the first place. The second he finishes that 12th word, the simulation shows us this golden hologram of 100 BTC that appears, visible only to him. His entire fortune, 100 Bitcoin, is confirmed to be perfectly safe and sound. So here's the kicker. His wealth wasn't an object. It was information, protected by a code that was stored only in his mind. And this all brings us to Satoshi's really powerful lesson. The house, the paper money, the gold bars, they were all physical things, right? And they were all destroyed by a physical force. But the grandson's asset, which only existed as an idea, as a string of data secured by a phrase he remembered, it survived the physical destruction completely intact. This experiment basically reveals a whole new level of durability, one that Satoshi calls the void-level durability. I mean, just think about that for a second. An asset that cannot be stolen and cannot be burned. It's a form of wealth that literally transcends the physical world, which makes it immune to the dangers that threaten pretty much everything else. This completely redefines what it means for something to be a safe store of value. It really makes you wonder what other fundamental properties of money might need a complete reevaluation, doesn't it? Well, that's a question for next time. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure to join us for our next explainer, the heavy burden.